Video number 3 starts with speaking about door wood screws, buy screws or wood screws, specialty wood screws. Door wood screws, speaking how to buy screws for wood screws and specialty wood screws. Wood screws and other types are used when you need greater holding power than nails can provide, and also when the fastened parts may have to be disassembled. There are 3 common types of screw head: slot, Phillips, which is cross-slotted, and Robertson, which is square. Screws that make their own threads are of 2 basic types: thread forming, used for sheet metal and thread cutting, used in heavier metal to cut a thread ahead of the main part of the screw. It could be considered more of a bolt than a screw. Both are made in variety special forms for door wood screws, with the most widely used being below described. Panhead, also known as pointed, used in drilled sheet metal and thicker material, ductile enough to be threaded by screw action. Also used as a high-strength fastener for plywood and hardwood. Door wood screws types: panhead, with a blunt end, used in ductile materials and sheet metals where a sharp point is not needed, such as blind fastening. It requires a pre-drilled pilot hole. Roundhead, partial tapping, which is frequently used as a thread cutting type. It acts as a small tap, therefore can be used in deep holes. It is well suited to soft or hard materials and cuts machine screw threads. Then there is roundhead, self-tapping, which is used for similar applications but thicker materials. It also cuts machine screw threads. It is made in sizes to 1/4 inch diameter and require holes drilled to size. There are various types of screws. Flathead screws, which are used in applications where the head must be flush with the surface or slightly below it. It's available in all head types. Oval head screws have the lower portion of the head countersunk and the top is rounded. They are easier to remove and better looking than flathead screws. Roundhead screws are utility screws used where the fastener piece is too thin to permit countersinking, and also on parts that may require a washer. Dome head is a decorative form of the flathead screw, concealed by a dome cap. They are classed as ornamental. Phillips head screws have cross slots to minimize screwdriver slip out. Cross slots are available for most type screws. A Phillips driver is required. Robertson head screws have a square opening to minimize screwdriver slip out. Robertsons are available for most type screws. A Robertson driver is required. One-way screws are designed to prevent burglary and theft. If anyone should attempt to remove the screwdriver would slip out of the slot. Dowel screws are used for end-to-end joints and similar applications unsuited to conventional screws. Hanger bolt or screw has one end that is threaded like a screw, so it can be driven into wood. The other end is threaded to accept a square or hex nut. Lag bolt or screw is actually a heavy-duty screw as in made in sizes up to 6 inches in length. The head end is square and the bolt is driven with a wrench. Screw sizes for door wood screws are measured by both length and diameter, with length designated in inches and diameter by gauge number. Screws are available in gauges of 0 to 24, with 0 being 1/16 inch and 24 being 3/8 inch. Lengths of screws may be from 1 inch to 6 inches. The most common screw diameters are between 0 and 16. Select screw lengths so at least 2/3 of the screw is the base material to which you are fastening. To enable screws to go into the work, you must first make a pilot hole. This can be done with an awl for screws up to number 6 gauge. For larger screws, use a drill bit that is at least 2 sizes smaller than the thread diameter. When working in hardwood with door wood screws, or if working with large diameter screws in work that is subject to splitting, drill both a pilot hole and a clearance hole for the screw shank. Clearance holes should be the same diameter as the shank and drilled 1/3 the length of the screw. When installing screws in new work, it is suggested to lubricate the threads with soap or wax. Screw washers. Washers are used under screw heads in some woodworking applications. The washers provide added bearing surfaces and help to avoid marring of the wood when removal is necessary. There are 3 types: flay, countersunk, and flush. Screw hooks. Screw hooks are made to suit specific purposes. Cup hook is fitted with a stop cap to assure uniform extension when the hooks are used in a row. A screw hook is used to hang tools and utensils and has a sharp point to make insertion easy and can easily be driven the depth required. Eye and ring combinations take snap hooks as on leashes. Screw eye is formed from a single piece for greater length as cast and forged types are available. Square band. Screw hook is often used to support curtain rods and in the kitchen as a hanger for pots and utensils. We're now going to move on to drill press tabletop. Drill press tabletop. Drill press tabletop speaks to the best drill presses available: bench drill presses, bench drill press, and drill press. The drill press information notes that the drill press is the second most popular stationary power tool in the shop. It is second only to the radial arm saw. The components of such are base, table, table clamp, column, feed lever, motor, belt guard, quill, depth stop, and quill lock. Geared chuck attachment and jigs fly cutter. It is used to drill large diameter holes, and you should be sure the cutter is locked in place before turning on the power. The drill press vise is a handy accessory for holding round or irregular work. It is suggested that you punch a starting mark in the round work. Hole saw is used to cut holes from 3/4 to 2.5 inch wood or metal. It can also cut through work at 3/4 inches thick. countersinking on the drill press is done with a special bit. Always adjust the stop to limit the countersinking depth. Drum sanding may be done on the drill press. Make sure the shaft of the sander is firmly locked before turning on the power. The tool can drill round holes or even square holes at an angle or to a reset depth in wood, metal, and plastic. The size of a drill press is based on the diameter of the circle through which the tool can drill a center hole. To drill a hole at an angle, clamp the work to the drill press table and then tilt and lock the table to the desired angle. Always make sure you have a supporting block of wood under the work to be drilled to avoid marring the drill press table. This also prevents splintering as the bit passes through the work. The drill press should always be raised to bring the work as close as possible to the drill bit. In this way, it's possible to utilize fully entire length of the drill. We will now be speaking about electric hand drills. Electric hand drills speaks to how to use electric hand drills, small electric drills, and best electric hand drills. The hand drill may be powered by 110 volt AC, or it may be powered by a rechargeable power pack. The rechargeable power pack allows for a much more portable and versatile power tool. Nowadays, most drills have power packs. May be used to drill metal, wood, plastic, and concrete using varied attachments, which may be used for many operations. The size of the drill is determined by the largest drill shank that the geared chuck will accept. The common sizes are 3/8 or 1/2 inch, with 3/4 inch for commercial or industrial use. The 1/2 inch drill has a slower turning speed than the 3/8 inch drill, and the 3/4 inch drill has a slower turning speed than the 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch drill is equipped with a handle which allows the user to handle the extra power. Most drills today are speed controlled from the switch and are reversible. All drills are equipped with a three-wire grounding plugs, known as 3-prong, and protect the user from shock in case the drill has an electric short. Electric hand drill bits. There are a variety of bits available for the electric hand drill. Various sized twist drills for wood and metal, auger, spade, carbide for brick and masonry, rotary rasps, rotary file, hole saw, and fly cutter. Drill attachments. A depth gauge which locks to the shaft of the drill bit at any required distance to limit the depth of a hole. A right angle attachment which is used in areas where space is tight. Flexible shaft attachment which allows you to access where space is tight and is up to 40 inches long. Screw make device allows you to drill a pilot hole, shank clearance hole, and countersink in one operation. Extension, which is used for drilling holes beyond the length of the drill bit. An auger is used for drilling holes into the ground for gardening considerations. Grinder attachments. Grinding wheel, which is used with a drill stand, is used for sharpening tools and drill bits. A grinding disc that has sharp metal perforation, which removes paint from wood and metal. Grinding stones, which are available in different sizes and shapes. Cutting attachments. A circle cutter can make holes up to a 12-inch diameter. A carbide impregnated cut-off disc is used to cut metal. The drill should be mounted on a stand. A hole cutter enables to make circular holes in wood up to 2.5 inches diameter. Hacksaw attachment is used for cutting metal using rotary motion of the drill converted into reciprocating action. Sanding attachments. Drum sander is used for sanding the edges of work and comes in varied grit sizes. Ball-jointed rubber back disc sander is used for rough sanding and paint removal. A steel drum rasp is available in many sizes and has a 1/4-inch shank to fit the drill chuck. This is used for rough sanding on carved surfaces. The disc sander is used with a drill sand. There are other miscellaneous attachments. A chipping wheel for removing flaking paint from concrete floors and other surfaces. Rotating wheels have hardened steel points. A paint sprayer attachment uses the drill to power the compressor. It is complete with rubber hose, spray gun with pint cup and mounting hardware. Paint stirrer which stirs paint in the can. A screwdriver is simply a powered screwdriver attachment. The next topic to speak about is handheld circular saws. A handheld circular saw is a circular saw, and this portion will tell you how to use the circular saw and circular hand saws for both safe use and maintenance. A hand circular saw will consist of these components: handle, trigger switch, motor, knob handle, blade tilt lock, base plate, rip fence, replaceable blade, lower blade guard, blade locking washer and bolt, blade height lock, retracting knob for lower blade guard, upper blade guard. It is best to buy a saw that is capable of cutting a 2x4 at a 45-degree angle and should have a blade diameter of 7 inches or more. Other considerations. The saw should have a depth adjustment which allows you to make shallow cuts when required. The saw should have an angle adjustment for cutting meters and bevels. The saw should have a ripping fence which guides the saw when you want to rip a board to a specific width. The saw should have an automatic spring, actuated blade guard that retracts as the blade enters the work and then covers the exposed part of the blade as soon as the cut has been completed. Types of blades. Combination crosscut and rip blade is suitable for most purposes. It does a good job of cutting thick or thin hardwoods and softwoods with or across the grain, as well as plywood and hardboard. A crosscut blade which has fine teeth which cut smoothly across grain of either hardwood or softwood. It is suitable for cutting plywood, hardboard, and hardened veneers. It is also good for framing 2x4 lumber. The rip blade has larger teeth than the combination blade and is recommended when it is desired to do a large amount of cutting with the grain. It is best used with the rip fence or guide batten for easier, more accurate cutting. Hollow ground blade makes the smoothest cut, cuts thicker thin materials requiring little or no sanding. It is suggested to keep blades sharp to minimize fiber fraying and wood scorching, which may happen if the blade is dull. Abrasive blades are suitable for masonry, metal, plastic, and other hard materials. They are excellent for scoring bricks or blocks. For ease of breaking, it is suggested you buy the blade to suit the type of material to be cut. Last but not least in this video is speaking about ideal hand tools. Ideal hand tools speaks to tools which are ideal electrician tools, ideal carpenter tools, and ideal trade tools for use and maintenance. Always buy the best tools you can afford, as they should be considered a lifetime investment for the building technician or homeowner. These tools are necessary to allow the building technician to respond to most trouble calls he will receive throughout the course of the day. When you have the proper tools, preventive maintenance can be done in the shortest time frame possible. Most cases, this will allow for ongoing, comfortable work conditions for the tenants. The building technician, unlike the homeowner, will need a few specialty tools that the homeowner will not. These are test equipment, such as a C-clamp ammeter, which will allow electrical current to be measured, and tachometers, which allow motor speeds to be determined. The daily tasks that a building technician will face are for the most part more demanding and diverse than that for the homeowner. In Canada, the building technician will need a working understanding of both metric and imperial systems, as many parts used are manufactured in the USA. The USA, I believe, is the only country which still uses the metric system. Alright, the basic toolkit you'll need is a crosscut saw, hammer, nail set and punch, assorted screws and nails, measuring tape, bits and drill, awl, regular screwdrivers, Phillips screwdrivers, Robertson screwdrivers, pliers, glue and brush, a small level, sandpaper with holder, adjustable wrench, box inch ret set, knife, toilet plunger, oil can, plane. Suggested additions may be hacksaw, backsaw and meter box, set of chisels, side cutting pliers, large screwdriver, pipe wrench, C-clamp, sharpening stone, file, level, combination square, propane torch, bits and brace, a vise, small wrecking bar, metal snips, channel lock, pliers, scraper, wire stripper, stapler putty, and knife, a soldering gun with solder, jigsaw, pipe clamp, bearing pullers, C-clamp, amp rod, and tachometer. That's likely everything you need, and this is the end of this video. On to video number 4.